Whether you're a zombie, a Spartan, a watchman, an owl, or a teenage girl in a mental asylum, chances are if you're in a Zack Snyder film, you have one thing in common. You're going to kick ass. Hi, I'm Jake Hamilton here on the set of Sucker Punch, talking with the young stars and director about no matter what you've seen, no matter what you've experienced, you won't be prepared for this. Get ready, this is Jake's Takes.
I lost everyone I've ever loved. Then they locked me away, with nowhere to hide from the pain.
So I'm watching the movie last night, and there's a point where I realized I'm pretty sure each of you could kick my ass. Which is kind of disconcerting as a guy. Yeah, let's go.
Right,
Oh, you actually? Oh, yeah.
We could at least choreograph something.
Okay, all right, let's go. What do you got?
You want to do it?
Let's go.
All right,
come on.
I'm gonna judge
Okay,
this.
let's go.
I'm
All right.
watching this. I'm
Okay,
not even.
so you're going to throw a right hook,
Okay.
and I'm going to duck it.
Okay.
Yep, right?
Okay.
And then, but I'll let you hit me at
Okay.
some point.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right,
All right. So.
I duck it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to throw a right punch, and it's going to hit you, but you're just going to go like that. So
Okay.
I'm going to go boom.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
But
Now-
your head, it needs to be more like from
Yeah,
your
you
neck.
need to,
Yeah.
Okay.
you need
Like
to
that.
You're like, oh.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Because you're not
So let's
expecting
go.
it, so
Alright.
your neck
There you
comes
go.
too tense.
And then I go, and now you need to get one on me. So
Okay.
why don't we go for a good old gut punch?
Okay.
So then this hand,
Mhm.
you just go, and I'll go like that. And you don't expect me to come back,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna uppercut you like this.
Okay.
And you got to do that
And I gotta-
little head thing.
And I'm out.
All right, you ready? Let's do this.
Getting this right? Okay. Okay.
Do you remember this?
What?
You remember
I'm in. I'm
okay.
yes,
we'll just
I'm ready.
go slow.
No. Okay. Cool. All right.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Now. And then gut punch me.
And then gut punch. Oh, I didn't mean. I'm sorry. I actually really weird.
I'm
That was
acting.
beautiful.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
I'm acting. This
Okay.
is all that. You know your little feather.
Okay, let's
so
go.
You know
All
where
right.
it's at. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's go.
Okay, so-
Go again. And then I go.
And
Then
then
you go.
gut punch.
And then I go. And I win.
And then I win. That was like us whenever we were out. We would just
everywhere we
choreograph little
went.
fights.
I'm fairly certain that is the best interview that is going to happen in this room all day.
Winner.
Bring it in for a hug. I love you guys. Thank you so much for that. Great to see
No
you.
worries.
It was a pleasure.
See you.
I love you guys. This is like the best interview ever. Thank you. Have a great day.
Ciao.
What did you learn in this movie that you're going to take to Superman?
I think the things that I really feel like the thing I learned in this movie is that, you know, even though this is a stylized world and it doesn't, I think Superman's a more realistic movie. I know that sounds weird, but
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I did learn a lot about just like how it was interesting because we did a lot of work with in the film. You know, they're fighting a lot of CG enemies or a lot of virtual enemies, and I think that, not to say that that would be in Superman, but we were really able to kind of use the technology in an artful way to support the visuals that we're trying to do. Where I think like with 300 and with Watchmen, you know, even though we were in virtual worlds, the enemies that they were fighting were pretty much just stuntmen, you know.
For sure.
And I think that'll be it'll be interesting to kind of squish all those things together. Who knows though what it'll be.
I'm excited. Between me and you, now that we're practically best friends, we're like this. What can you tell me about Superman that I won't tell anybody else? It'll just be. I'll lean forward. We don't even have to tell anybody.
Let's see.
Don't laugh. You're not helping.
There could be a character in the movie that other people might refer to as Superman. So that's something you can.
Hell yes.
I mean, I don't know if I call it an exclusive, but it's pretty.
It's an exclusive. It's a Jake Hamilton exclusive. It is. Just Zack Snyder.
I need to get out. I'm gonna escape from here.
There's armed guards everywhere. And if Blue finds out, we're dead. We're already dead.
I think one of my favorite lines in the movie, Scott Glenn says the line, don't write a check with your mouth that your ass can't cash.
I knew you were going to say that.
Love that line. And I'm okay. So honestly, I'm looking. The movie does not hide the fact that you girls are ridiculously hot. Do you guys ever use the hotness to try to get out of situations?
I think every time I get pulled over for any sort of traffic
Violation.
I'm always
dance,
just like, if I could just start dancing with that cop, I feel like everything could be so much better.
Or just
you know?
break out into a musical number with them. It'd be so amazing.
Totally.
I don't know. I think that that's the amazing thing about these girls is they're very strong, confident women, and by using their confidence to get out of any situation, awesome. I don't think that we like necessarily drive getting out of things by our looks. I think we're just strong females, and I think that
It's
sometimes
a tool that was like used against us because these women were oppressed and in this brothel, and then we kind of turn it around and use that to kind of sucker punch them in the end, you know.
How much is that like Hollywood then?
Well, yeah, talent is a nice thing to show as a surprise, but sometimes it's a nice thing to also talk about first. Beauty is always a gift, but I don't think it's the most mandatory thing in Hollywood, you know?
No, and just like the girls, you know, they're sexy, but they're still powerful. And, you know, and they bond this amazing friendship, and they, you know, they want to get out of their adversities, so I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's a very ancient thing, you know, using the sort of, you know, feminine wilds to sort of understand your placement in the world, and I think that's what this film is also exploring, is sort of using the ideas of what's typically known as some form of oppression, with female is actually doing the opposite, is being more of a freedom and an empowerment of using, you know, how you look, how you feel, what your weapons are inside of you, you know? And being able to bring them onto the outside to sort of, you know, rise above situations that can be quite detrimental, you know.
You're afraid, don't be. To reach your own paradise. Just let go. What you're imagining right now, you control this world.
Is there any truth to the fact that this movie originally was planned to be R-rated?
Oh yeah, when I wrote it, it was an R-rated movie. But I think what happened was, in the discussions about what the movie should be, even just talking about with my wife, who's my producer, we'd talk about, like, you know, how the sort of final, what the movie would be. My natural instincts is to make an R-rated movie. I just the way I'm sort of, that's the way I see it. But I felt like with this movie, I really wanted to kind of pull back just the level sort of, because I felt like in this movie, because it's inherently sexual and inherently violent, I felt like letting a lot of that happen in a more stylized way would just make the movie easier to watch. I mean, it's hard anyway. I just felt like if it was rated R, and knowing my sort of the way I am.
What was one thing that you left out, and because of the rating that you were
I think
set?
it's just like tonal, like, you know, it's really just the intensity levels that you take all the, even just like, you know, there's a sequence where, I won't say, but the girls are all in a group and someone gets killed. Even just there, you know, like normally I'd say, oh, you know, I was saying to Emily, like, oh, in this sequence, you know, you'd have brains and blood sprayed all over you.
It reminded me of the comedian in the bar, that kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's exactly why I was like, but that's precisely why I didn't do it in some ways, because I felt like it would be about that. The movie would be, because it would be impossible for it not to be.
Gotcha. Did you shoot it that way and then cut it back?
No, I shot it that way from the beginning. I knew exactly. And that was the problem. Like, you know, we went back and forth with the MPAA because even this movie, it was hard to get a PG-13. Right. And we went back and forth, and my whole thing was like, this can't be rated R because I didn't intend it as a rated R movie. So it would be a bad R, in my opinion. You know, like I would have been, if I went to this movie and it was R, I'd be like, what?
Exactly.
No one's naked.
What are you looking for?
A way out.
I'm going to help you to be free. You will need to find 5 items. The first is a map. Then fire. Then a knife.
I love that. One of the things I love about Blue is that he's kind of this guy who probably is kind of a powerless guy and overcompensates for the fact, you know. Do you guys ever find someone like that in Hollywood who is powerless and now has power and tries to overcompensate?
Never.
Never?
Talking about?
I have a hard time believing that.
That's like the general MO. It's people that have been, you know, like crapped on, and then they get a chance to do it to others. I mean, but that's not just Hollywood. That's, I think, the general kind of power structure that happens a lot.
You guys would never do that.
I do it all the time. Give me a coffee, Jason. No, but yeah, man, that's exactly right though. With Blue's character, I mean, that's what I had fun playing with, and that's with these realities that you see, these different realities. I think we all got, particularly we got to play with these ideas of who are these people when she. When Baby Doll sees them in the asylum, and who are they when she imagines them in the brothel?
And also, yeah, because I think that it was also sort of our job to ground this very large film in a reality, even if it's an alternate reality.
Exactly. Exactly.
In an emotional reality, in sort of a place where you come back from these fights and sort of have this kind of like what she's actually grappling with on an emotional level.
And a key. The fifth thing is a mystery. Begin your journey. It will set you free.
I do love Scott Glenn in this movie. I love Scott Glenn. I just think he's incredible in this. And I love that he is kind of like the wise man for the girls. In your career, who was your wise man that kind of like, pointed you in the right direction?
Oh, you mean out in life?
Mm-hmm.
I guess there was this guy named Jim Arden that he was when I was growing up, he was like a biology teacher at a school nearby, and I went over there. He was a bodybuilder, was awesome guy, and he just kind of took me in as like this super smart guy, super charismatic, and he kind of was like he's like, you can do whatever you want to do.
Oh yeah, which is kind of like Warner Brothers now, because with all the success you've given them, they pretty much just give you a blank check.
Let's not go crazy. They're generous and they're kind with me, and I try and be a good partner for them. So.
This is kind of a weird little nerdy thing. I love that Warner Brothers lets you mess with their logo. The fact that the Warner Brothers with this, it was the curtain rising with it breaks apart. I feel like this is a really nerdy thing, but I feel like they're the only studio that really messes with their logo, which I think is really cool.
They've been really cool with me in that regard. Like I don't think I've done a movie where the logo's been, even Dawn of the Dead, Universal kind of let me mess with the logo, but it was hard. It was a huge struggle. Right. Then in 300, we made it kind of bronzy, so that was the beginning of it. Then watch me, it's the 2D kind of, and then even in Guardians, remember
exactly
he flies to it. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's always a thing. I'm always like, when am I gonna do the logo this time?
He knows what we're doing. It's the only way we can get out of here.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.